Have you ever done something that was genuinely good for you and still felt guilty about it afterward? Like resting when you're tired, saying no when you're overwhelmed, or choosing yourself, and somehow your mind whispers that you did something wrong. That feeling is not random, and it's definitely not logical. A lot of people live with a kind of invisible emotional rule book they never consciously agreed to. Maybe growing up, you were praised more when you sacrificed than when you rested. Maybe being good meant being available, helpful, selfless, even when it hurt you. Over time, your brain starts to connect guilt with anything that looks like self-prioritization. So now, even when you do something healthy, the old programming fires up. Think about it. You finally take a day off, and instead of peace, you feel restless. You set a boundary with someone, and instead of relief, you feel like you've done something selfish. You invest in yourself, and a quiet voice asks, shouldn't you be doing something for someone else instead? That's learned guilt, not truth. Psychologically, this often comes from cognitive dissonance. Your current self is trying to grow, heal, and choose better. But your conditioned self is still loyal to old beliefs about worth, approval, and belonging. When those two identities clash, your brain creates discomfort and labels it as guilt. But here's what's important. Guilt is not always a moral compass. Sometimes it's just a habit of thought. You were not born believing rest is wrong, or that boundaries are selfish, or that your value comes from constant sacrifice. Those ideas were taught, reinforced, and repeated until they felt like facts. And that's why it feels so strange when you start doing the right things for yourself. You're not actually doing something wrong. You're just breaking an old emotional agreement your mind got used to. The real shift happens when you start recognizing that discomfort doesn't always mean stop. Sometimes it means continue. Sometimes it means you're finally stepping out of conditioning and into awareness. Because the truth is, taking care of yourself is not betrayal. It's correction. And slowly, if you keep choosing yourself through that discomfort, something changes. The guilt doesn't disappear overnight, but it loses authority. It stops being a warning signal and starts becoming background noise. And one day, you realize something quietly powerful. You're no longer asking permission to do what's good for you.